Hello. Sweet. Whoa. This is wild. All right. Hello, everybody. All right, let's talk Omen. Let's get some beer. Let's talk some Omen. Let's talk some high-vis warning lights, and let's have some fun. Yes, please. I will take that. It's so weird being... Oh. There we go. Oh, that'd been dangerous. Oh, I think I came... Oh, we're good. All right. All right, folks. All right, so this is Omen, and I'm going to talk a little bit about kind of how it came to be, what it is, what makes it special. But the first thing I want you to understand about Omen is that it's the first 5-color light bar in the industry. What that means is that every single light bar from us is the same. So whether you're FDNY, LA City, or anywhere in between, you get the exact same product no matter where you are. It's kind of like an iPhone, right? You get your iPhone, and it's the same iPhone that everybody has. You just make it your own. You add your little picture of your wife and your dog on there, and you make it unique to yourself. And that's exactly how the Omen is too. So it comes out of the box the same for everybody, and when you take delivery of it, you make it uniquely your own. We have an app called the High-Vis Connect app that allows you to jump in once you take delivery of your truck and set your primary and secondary colors, set 4 different modes: your daytime responding mode, your daytime on scene, your nighttime responding mode, and your nighttime on scene. This thing is super, super cool. Naturally, it's also backed by our lifetime warranty. It's advanced exchange replacement. So if there's ever an issue with it, which is very, very rare, that's 1% chance of that happening, it's super easy. There's 2 Allen head screw heads on top of each of these modules, and they just slide right off this rail system. It's this exoskeleton rail system. So at any time if you ever have an issue, you just slide it off, slide a new one on, and because they're all the same parts from us, you don't need to call us and say, hey, I got this blue module that's out. We just send you out a module, and it will slide right on the rail, and you're back in service. If you ever hit a tree with it, take a tree branch and somehow you crack a lens here, super easy. You can just swap that back out. No need to buy a whole new bar. And this thing is super, super tough. You can jump on this thing. It is crazy. I can't step up that far. I guess I got my little harness on, but you can stand on top of it. It's like nothing else in the industry. Completely aluminum, exoskeleton. It is really, really strong. So let's show a couple different modes here. So first we're going to show our normal E-Master. This would be E-Master as if you're responding to scene middle of the daytime. Once you're on scene, it would go into a parked mode where it slows everything down. And then finally we'll go into a night mode where we bring down the actual intensity to a nighttime setting. And again, this is all programmable, so you can choose your primary colors, whether it be red-blue, maybe it's a red-red color. Now the entire thing is just red-red. We can go red-white. So wherever you are, and the nice part is it's tied in with Haas. And if you're not familiar with Haas, you should get familiar with Haas. They're right down the way over here. But all new fire trucks coming out the market today, for the most part, have Haas as standard. And so what's cool about Haas is that we're tied into it. So the truck knows where it is in space. As this truck travels around and you go from jurisdiction to jurisdiction or state to state, the light bar will actually change colors to match those local laws. So if you deploy out, or you have like a wildland rig that deploys out, as you move, the light bar changes colors. You hit state lines, light bar changes colors. Let's talk a little bit about vehicle-to-vehicle sync. That's a big topic we hear a lot of folks talking about, right? A lot of squad cars do vehicle-to-vehicle sync now. You come on scene and they're all synced up. Of course, ours does that as well. And I want to talk a little bit about how that works. So typical systems do vehicle-to-vehicle sync on a clock basis, right? They use a world clock and they start at the top of a second hand. And so every time you hit your E-Master, they start the whole cycle and they play on that second hand timing. And what's cool about High-Vis's system is that not only are they going to sync the actual program, sync the actual flashing, but it actually will match up. So whatever vehicle arrives on scene first is set up as incident command. If you have mutual aid agencies coming in to join you guys, that unit will pull up next to this, and it will adopt all the settings that your truck, the first truck on scene, has. So however those other trucks are set up, when they come on scene, they adopt all the settings that are on the truck that's already on scene, which is really, really cool. So it's great for mutual aid agencies. It's coming up. The other thing I'll mention too about the Omen is because we have all 5 colors in every single light bar, If you want to do things like water tank level indicator, this entire light bar can be a water tank level indicator, which is really, really cool. Think about like a 72-inch or 84-inch water tank level indicator. You can see this thing from 2 blocks away. You're ready to make that push in the front door, look back, and you're not looking at some little tiny tank level light. You're looking at the entire Omen. The whole thing goes steady burn blue, and then it begins notching down. You'll get down to a yellow or amber, and then red, and then flashing red. That's the kind of stuff we can do with this, tying into low fuel level, right? We're on a campaign incident. Hey, do we have a low fuel situation developing? At 20% fuel, this thing can do a double flash yellow every 10 seconds. That's the type of stuff that we can release to allow this thing to do more than just get you to scene. And I think that's the essence of Omen, is it's not just taking you to scene. Once you're on scene, it's actually continuing to work for you, right? Tank levels and offering things like low fuel or traffic director. This whole thing can be a traffic advisor. Amber, and it will go traffic left, traffic right, center out. Let's talk a little bit about the body lights. So on the right side and left side of the vehicle, we have our body lights. These are our 600 series size, or what we call our Guardian Junior High-Vis Connect body lights. And what makes these things cool is that they're actually little mini computers. And so each one of these light heads is actually its own little device. They're more powerful individually than the first iPhone. They've got more storage, more processing power. They all have Bluetooth on them. And so what's neat about this is when your OEM or your bodybuilder or your fire truck builder builds your apparatus, when they stick these lights on the vehicle, they go around, they initialize the system. And what they're doing there is they take an iPad, similar actually, it's this right here. It's actually my little iPad thing right here. And what they do is they press initialize system, and it will flash the entire system once, and it will read how many light fixtures are on that system. It'll say, hey, is there 16 fixtures on this light system? And they'll say, yep, there is 16 fixtures. And then they'll go around and they'll start flashing one of those 16 fixtures. And they'll say, what fixture right now is flashing? And what they'll do then is they'll say, upper mid body is flashing. Okay, what fixture is flashing now? Upper left rear face. Okay, and what you're doing is you're saving to the hardware itself, to these devices, you're saying, hey, this is where you exist in space. And so what's nice about that is they know where they are, what NFPA zone they are in, and then as the environment changes, right? If we ever were to lose a fixture, the other fixtures in that zone are able to then hear, hey, I don't have my buddy in my zone, so I know I need to change my flash pattern, change my intensity to make up the difference to stay compliant the entire time. It is truly a smart system. It is really, really cool. These are all individual devices. Let's talk backup plan. Let's talk plan, backup, and backup to the backup. So we're big, a lot of us here at FireTech are firefighters ourselves. I've been a firefighter for 7 years prior to coming on board here. And we're really big on this concept of there cannot be a moment where you do not have light to work. And so the plan is everything runs over a hardware network. If that network goes down, we back up over Bluetooth. So all these devices are Bluetooth enabled. And so if the hardware fails and we lose connection from some of the lights, they just back up over Bluetooth. If Bluetooth and the wiring were to fail, which if the truck's still running at that point, that's a pretty impressive feat. But if they both fail, what happens then is that if they are receiving power and ground, they'll go into a basic red NFPA flash pattern. You guys have any questions? Chelsea, any questions in the chat there? Anything for me? Anything I can talk about? This is kind of fun up here. I got a little Britney Spears mic going. It's kind of fun. I'm not going to try to sing like Britney Spears though. Hit the scene light? Can I hit the scene light? Where is Spencer? Could you hit the BG2s? Let's talk BG2 a little bit. I'm up here just hanging out. So on this truck is our BG2 system. Just go ahead and hit all on, Spence. Watch your eyes, everybody. Watch your eyes. It's going to get very bright. Sunglasses. That's why we have them. If you haven't got sunglasses from John yet, he's got sunglasses. So this is our BG2 system. BG2 is super cool. It is a smart, there it is. It is a smart lighting system. And the way it works is it's really 3 different fixtures in a single little module. So you have a flood fixture, a spot fixture, and a traffic advisor fixture. Hey Spence, would you give us traffic left around the whole vehicle? So what's cool about this is you can wrap traffic around the vehicle. The idea is that when you pull up on an incident on a roadway, you can park at a 45 degree and then wrap the traffic around. Here it comes up front, I think here. Is it going up front? Spence, you got it going around front too? Is it? I can't see up there. Is that going around the front? So if you look now, we're wrapping traffic around the vehicle. And so the idea is that this is kind of like the new age light tower, right? Light towers are really cool. They offer a lot of advantages. They get light up where you need it, and they can point light where you want it. Similar to this, we can put light where we want it. So you pull up on an accident, pull up at a 45 degree. We want to move traffic around the side of the vehicle and around the front of it. And on this side, we have our accident. So over here, we can turn our white light on. So Spencer, if you would, on the right side of the vehicle, turn my white light on. We can flood over here now with white light. So we can keep traffic moving on this side, not blinding them and not distracting them while giving us work light on this side. Each module in the BG2 is 3,000 lumens. It is unbelievably powerful. This is really kind of the top tier, the top echelon of what scene lighting can be. We're really, really excited about this system. And the other thing it can do too is it can also be part of your warning pattern. So this whole thing can go warning to a scramble, which is really, really neat. Let's see, what else? Chelsea, anything else we should talk about? Yep, yeah, so as we were talking about, back to Omen, 5-color light bar, it's built in every single time, right? So we can do a lot of stuff with that. And like I said earlier, I think the core principle of Omen is that it doesn't just get you to scene, right? Everybody can get you to scene, and we get you to scene too. But once you're on scene, the Omen continues to work for you, right? So we can do things like command and demand. That is where the whole bar goes steady burn green. You got 3-4 agencies on scene, big mutual aid incident, and you got a whole lot of trucks on scene there. Where are my paramedics? Where's rehab, right? Where is chief at? It's a super easy way to identify a unit on scene with a very chaotic situation happening. Other things it can do too is do things like traffic advisor. The whole thing can go amber, and we can chase traffic left, right, center, out. We can do things like water tank level indicator, where the entire thing goes blue, would be a notching down. Other things we're just dreaming at this point, right? Because we're not limited by the hardware. We give you all the hardware. It's just software. Is things like low fuel sensing. We can tie it to anything on the chassis, right? It would be low voltage, whatever you can imagine we can tie this thing back to, which is really, really cool. Let's see. What else can we talk about on this? Side-firing LEDs. So on all of our Guardian family high-vis connect warning light fixtures, which are these guys right here on the left and the right-hand side of the vehicle, we have a thing called side-firing LEDs. This shoots light to the left and the right of each fixture, as well as shooting it forward. There's been a lot of talk in the last couple of years about dimming fixtures. We hear a lot about dimming, right? These LED lights have gotten too bright. They're hurting our eyes. They're causing accidents potentially. And the key is that the lights are not too bright. That is the number one thing we have to understand. The lights are not too bright. In the middle of the daytime, I promise you, this isn't too bright, right? At night though, it seems like it's just like world-ending brightness. And it's not that the lights are too bright, it's that the scene is too dark and the vehicle is too dark, right? So what you have is you have a pinpoint of really bright light against a sea of darkness that is the scene. And the idea with the side-firing LEDs is that they shoot light back against the side of the vehicle and they light up the header panels and the body panels of the vehicle. And so what we're able to do then is basically make the entire vehicle a warning light, right? So we get the entire thing flash. We're not just flashing pinpoints of light out at you, we're flashing the entire header panel and body panels of that vehicle, making it much more conspicuous, which is really the goal. And ultimately, we want the lights to be brighter, right? Dimming lights down is not good for us as first responders because we've all been out there on the road and you're 2-3 turns up and you start seeing the trees flashing, right? You're like, there's a fire truck up here, right? You know it. You're like, there's a fire truck up here. And then one turn up, you're like, yep, I know there's a fire truck up here. Sure enough, there it is. And if we start dimming our lights down, we don't get 3 turns up. We get 1 turn up maybe, right? And now we see the trees flashing and then boom, there it is. And God forbid you're on your phone, you miss it. So dimming lights is not the answer. That is the key thing to understand. Can these dim? 100% they dim. But what we want to offer is another potential solution, which is that side-firing LEDs, allowing you to keep the intensity up facing outwards, but making the truck easier to look at. That is really, really key. Again, I want to touch on how this stuff works vehicle-to-vehicle sync. That is a huge conversation right now. We see a lot of the county squad cars going to vehicle-to-vehicle sync, and we can also do it here. So what's neat about this is our vehicle-to-vehicle sync works 2 ways. Number 1 is it works on a world time clock, where every time you fire up your vehicle, all your vehicles in your fleet that are programmed the same way are going to sync every single time. But what's neat though is when you have responding agencies coming in, like mutual aid partners coming in, these fixtures will actually link up via Bluetooth once they're on scene. The first truck to pull a park brake on a scene is the incident leader, and every responding agency after that follows the lead. So they will come on scene, and they will adopt all the colors, flash patterns, and everything in that lead vehicle. So whatever your agency decides is best for your jurisdiction, every other jurisdiction that comes into your area will adopt your lighting style. The other thing I'll say again too is, what's great about the system is if you ever deploy outwards of your area, say you deploy out to wildland fires, etc., this system adapts to that area by changing colors. So as soon as you cross state lines, it automatically will go from, say, a red-white state to a red-blue state. It is truly, truly unique. The other thing I'll mention is this light bar is actually hollow throughout here. So you actually stick your whole hand through the light bar, which is really unique. We looked at light bar tech and we said the number one failure point for light bars is the fact they get filled with water, right? Why do they fill with water? Because every time you pull out a station, 90% of the time you're pulling out into either a colder environment or a warmer environment. And that's stressing all the gaskets on your light bar. And with the Omen, we said let's get down to a modular version of that. We don't have that central brain. There's no massive gaskets where things can fail. And so if we ever have a failure, which we offer a lifetime warranty, we have this modular system. These simply slide off and we can slide new ones on. And because they're all the same, we have them in stock. There's no reason for us to, you don't need to call me and say, hey, I need a blue module or I need a red module. I got a 24-inch light bar. We don't care about that because it's all the same componentry for all the fixtures. So you can get this light bar all the way down to just a 6-inch end cap, say on the rear of an aerial or side, rear stanchion of a truck, and you can grow it all the way up to 96 inches. This right here is our 60-inch bar right here. It is really, really cool stuff. And again, this thing is, I got this little plastic bar here. I mean, I could, you can kick this thing. You can do that, and you can jump on this thing. I don't have enough leash here to fully jump on it, but this thing is as close to fire resistant as possible. I will never use the word fire proof because that creates a challenge, and we don't need that. So, yeah. Here's one of these modules right here that I'm holding. They're super duper heavy duty. And the cool thing is with this exoskeleton design, we can actually allow other folks to mount stuff to it. Here you can see our brow light is mounted directly to the Omen. A lot of you guys probably have seen our brow lights out here. I can look around and I'm seeing brow lights, brow light, brow light, brow light. I can see brow lights everywhere. And what's great about the Omen is that we can mount the brow lights directly to the Omen. And what this does, this reduces, you get rid of what, 4 or 5 holes in the cab. Last thing you need is more holes in the cab. Holes in the cab are just points of potential water issues. And so with the Omen, we can mount your brow light to the Omen. All your marker lights can be in your brow light. And so you can get, you can get rid of what, 12 holes right there if you get all your marker lights and your brow light onto the Omen. So with 4 holes, we can get rid of 12 holes, which is really, really good for water entrance, water egress. What is the right word for that? Just ingress. That's the goal. So we can get down to a much smaller number of holes needed to mount this thing, which is great. For retrofits, this thing is an awesome retrofit item. These feet adjust in and out, so we can line up very, very closely to the holes already on your truck, which is awesome. And all it needs is a basic 12-volt switch panel to run this thing. Chelsea, anything? Any questions from the peoples? All right. I think I could use a beer. It sounds like a fantastic idea. Folks, thanks for coming out. Get yourself a beer and say hi to the FireTech team. Take a look around our little Hummer here. I'll just show you what we can do.